This is a Connect question from Saskia. A very good friend has been struggling with depression and midlife issues for the past couple years. She's had counseling and taken antidepressants, but neither has helped. Every day is a struggle for her. She feels the future holds nothing and longs for the past when life was better. We meet regularly, and I have always listened without trying to persuade her to take any action, but now her husband is considering leaving her and her relationship with her children is deteriorating. I wonder if starting at a gym or fitness class might help. I suggested she go to the gym every work day, join a group class, and try this for 3 months to see if physical activity improves her mental state. However, she is very reluctant, and I don't want to pressure her. Do you have any ideas on how I could help her? Any suggestion is most welcome.
Yeah. First, commend you for caring and being there. You're obviously a good friend and care a lot. I would go the next level, and if it's the point where she's going to lose her husband, she needs you as a friend to start letting her know that. Like, that's a big one. You know, people aren't going to change unless they're forced to change. And without that forcing function, the train is on the tracks and it's just going. And there needs to be something really jarring for a lot of people to be able to jump tracks. And that's what this is going to be. So the first thing is, as that friend, I know you don't, you're listening without trying to persuade. I think that if you guys meet a lot and she's obviously sharing a lot with you, it's time to start trying to persuade. And I know it's going to be more uncomfortable, and there's a higher risk involved in that than just being the empathetic shoulder or ear, but it's time. And I really commend you for the spot on about, like, should we try getting them to a gym or fitness class for 3 months? The latest research, and I was just going through this, there's a number of meta-analysis, meaning studies of studies, with tens of thousands of participants that show regular physical activity is at least, if not more effective than pharmacological interventions, meaning that taking medicine, antidepressants. And by the way, there's so many other benefits that come along with exercise, like physical health, like being able to be more energetic and productive in life. And there's so many downsides of taking medication. So you're spot on that this is an excellent thing to do. If the question is, do I have suggestions for what you should do, because she's reluctant for it, the first one is, as I said, tell her what's at risk. You know, when my father-in-law was battling alcoholism, there was a number of conversations, and there was a number of instances where I had one-on-ones with him about that there's a problem, and nothing changed until we said, you're going to lose your family. Once we said, I don't think you realize how far this has gone. If this continues, you're losing your relationship with your family. And he's an awesome, like one of the best guys in the world, and loves his family. He needed that ultimatum. He needed that awareness that this is how bad this was. And if this friend is able to speak to, you're going to lose your husband. Like, this is big. This isn't just you moping on the couch and you in a bad mood. This is like drastically affecting the people around you. They are not going to stick around for this indefinitely. You need to make changes. And I'm here to help you with those. And this is the second part. As it sounds like you've already suggested, going to the gym. Here's the way I would do this is come to the gym with me. I'm going to pick you up on the way to the gym, and you can come to the gym with me 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. Here's the other part. Man, I just think that it's the number of exposures that actually make the change. So if they come to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, it's going to take 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks before they see the change. If they go to the gym with you 4, 5, 6 days a week, it's going to happen so much. It's just like playing guitar. How many times are you going to practice guitar? If you practice guitar once or twice a week, it's going to take you a year or 2 to become proficient, meaning see the results. So I'm a big fan of immersion, full indoctrination, change the environment drastically. As we've said before, it's easier to be 100% than it is 80-20. So that's where I would go is like, hey, every morning, I'm going to pick you up at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, every morning. And let's just see how this goes. Let's see if we can change your life, change your relationship with your husband. And let's do this for 3 months, 90 days, 90-day challenge where I'm going to do this Monday through Friday. So it's a hard situation, but in order to see a result, there needs to be a risk taken. And that risk taken is the higher level, harder conversation. And don't underestimate the impact that your simple voice can have. You've already, sounds like already established a level of trust with your friend. Now it's time for you to use that trust to make some change.
Yeah, I like that. And just to reinforce that, she said at the end of that, she doesn't want to pressure her, but
yeah, no, it's pressure time.
Pressure it's not a bad thing always.
No. Yep.
Like if the right pressure with the right intent can be an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
Can be all of the difference. And a lot of times we need somebody to put that kind of pressure on us to make us go the 2 feet further than we're willing to go by ourselves, to mirror back to us, oh, maybe I am capable of that. You believe in me. Maybe I should believe in me. Why do you believe in me? What am I not seeing? Well, I don't believe in me, but I trust you. And if you believe in me, then maybe I can take that 2 steps. And so again, it's just reinforcing what you said. But if we build the relationships we want, if we create the connections that we talk about all the time, then it's in some ways like not putting the pressure on the people in our lives is actually stealing from them in a way.
Yeah. Sure. I think the words they use, which are great, is pressure with the right intention.
Yeah.
It's not, she doesn't need another ultimatum, right? If you don't make this change, I'm leaving. But pressure with the right intention, like I care about you. I want this for you. And, as you said, she didn't want to put the pressure on, but how many people really make change without pressure?
Right. That's a great point. Yeah.
Nobody studies for the exam until the exam is, 2 days away. No one does the project when it's assigned. They do it when it's due. It's like we need the pressure. That's the reason deadlines are so impactful. And we need our peers to call us out when we're not acting in line with our values. So I don't want to make light of this either. Like depression's a real thing. I have a lot of sympathy for this because, I think it's really easy to go like, well, just be in a better mood. About 15 years ago, I was at my first CrossFit Games. And after the event, we so far exceeded our expectations. We had we rented a house on the beach in Northern California in Aromas, and we're all celebrating. There's like 15 of us staying in this house. It's this amazing celebratory thing. And I started to get like this really weird, sad feeling out of nowhere. We're just hanging out like at the table upstairs. Everyone's drinking and doing this thing and like partying. And I went downstairs and I drew the curtains and I just started crying. Like I couldn't control this level of remorse. And what ended up happening was I got stung by a bee after the event, and the medical people gave me a prescription that I picked up at the drugstore. It was like prednisone. And I had this weird, depressing reaction. I don't know if it's because I had a couple drinks with it or something like that, but I understood how you cannot just snap out of it. It's not a matter of, it was a chemical thing. And it was the thing that I had no control over. Well, this is something to have a lot of empathy, but also realize that if we need to change internal chemistry, training is how you do that. That is, you need movement to create different chemical changes inside the body. And there's so much, there's a lot saying that the least healthy thing that a depressed person can do is nothing, because when they do nothing, they ruminate on their depression. And when they ruminate on their depression, it's essentially throwing gas on the fire, and it makes it so much worse. The simple act of going out and buying groceries alleviates depression because they're out and doing something beyond just like, why am I so depressed? Now, when you go so far as to get into a social environment in a gym doing activity, the multifaceted effects of what that has on depressed individuals is significant and substantial.